all the old toolbars and we just go with the ribbon bar, and it wouldn't be customizable. But that, we know we don't satisfy our larger base that way. So
do you think you've satisfied some 10-year users?
No, and that's why I said, again in the press conference, that for 2009 we're adding more flexibility, so that I totally realized that we released 2008 as I don't like that was, to me and you, incomplete. We did not duplicate the functionality that we had in the command manager. We purposely took some things out, like the fly out ability, because that added more confusion for a lot of people than it added benefit. So we got rid of the kind of button control with the flyouts and so forth and went towards the tab interface, because in general we feel it's more intuitive and easier to use. So that was a purposeful regression. But the one about not being able to dock left or right or undock and so forth, that was simply we ran out of time. We wanted to provide it, we just ran out of time, and unfortunately the release cycle's out of my hands.
Yeah, that's another question that's in here somewhere. In fact, I think you just keep playing into my hand here. What is the standard to say, okay, it's done? Is there just a time cutoff to say, okay, we got to release it, just take out whatever's not good?
Generally there is. 2008 was a bit of a different animal, because we with the total UI redesign and some of the big things, that was our biggest change ever in our software. We had to, there was no turning back. Basically, once we went down a certain path, there wasn't any turning back. So we had to make the decision: is it good enough? And we have development cycles, so it's basically a 6-week development cycle, 6-week bug fix cycle, another 6-week development cycle, and then bug fixing from then on. Go out bug fix until alpha, then beta, and so forth. And we actually had to add a third development cycle specifically for some of the stuff we were doing in the new UI and some other things, just to get it to the point we got it. Last release was a bit longer than usual. So it all depends on what we're trying to do. Generally, we try to stick to a schedule. If it was a normal release, like all other releases, we start pulling stuff out. And even with 2008, we had to pull stuff out that we weren't done with yet, except for the exception. There were exceptions of things that we have to get done, and like the UI, some of the graphic stuff.
From a user point of view, the release cycle still seems very short. Is there any thought or any motivation or any reason for you guys to stretch out the release cycle even longer, like to add 2 months to 2 or 6 months to beta?
Yeah. So there's all sorts of discussions going on about that. We're talking about maybe going to a fixed development cycle. That's the same every year, so it's predictable. And then we would do within that cycle what we can get done. And so that would really be based on a time schedule, not on what we're trying to accomplish. And I would like to see us purposely do less and concentrate more. And I'm pretty sure you're going to see this based on all the discussions and the things that we've been saying in a press conference and everything about us concentrating on consistency, reliability, stability, all those types of things, performance. While we're concentrating on those types of things, you can actually call it quits more easily on those types of things, rather than if you're not developing functionality as much. Functionality, you need a set amount of time to get it done. Some of the other stuff, performance and reliability, you can you can call it quits. Okay, we've got improvements. Whether we got all the improvements we want or not, maybe not. We move those to the next release easily. Where functionality, it's much harder. If you don't get the project done, basically you can't release the functionality at all. It has to go to the next cycle. Okay. So I'm hoping for a much more flexible in what we do in those development cycles and a more structured timed release. What the period will be on that timed release, I'm not exactly sure. First, to me, the longer the better, because I don't think customers are begging for things to come out, although...
I wouldn't believe a word of it.
Although,
how you doing?
Doing good.
Although there's an argument for...
sorry, I didn't know you were getting...
Yeah, we're getting recorded. Thanks, Craig. Carry on.
Sorry.
So there's totally forgot what I was talking about.
Just the longer the better.
Yeah, the longer the better. There's probably other marketing reasons that a year cycle's good, maybe related to subscription service, but I'm not so sure. I've been hearing different things that doesn't necessarily matter as much. So that all has to be weighed out in the marketing side of things too.
Are there any marketing motivations that customers also care about? Is there any synergy between marketing and customers, or is it all whatever's good for marketing is bad for existing customers?
Oh no, definitely not. Because I mean, our reputation is built on our customers. So marketing is very much, they're one of the ones really pushing the scalability stuff. So scalability, I mean performance and making sure that that you can easily move from one release to another, things like that. That's marketing's very much on board with that because they know it's going to satisfy existing customers, and which just builds our reputation for going after new customers. I don't think anyone's. I don't know if anyone in the CAD industry has gone for the, instead of doing new functionality, build their reputation on being a rock solid, really good package and not coming out with new functionality every single year. I don't think it's ever been done in the CAD industry. It'd be interesting if we could go that way.
You could try that, right? There would be an element that would be attracted to that, though.
Yeah. I mean, me coming from tech support, I'm more on that side of things. I'd much rather customers have a much more reliable and so forth, but we have to go for the marketing type things too.
Does SolidWorks ever distinguish between modeling and design?
Distinguish between modeling and design. What kind of design are you talking about?
I hear when SolidWorks employees talk about what users do in their software, they say very often that they're going to help us design things. Is what they really mean that they're going to help us model things, or?
No, I think that the designing side I think gets more into the GD&T analysis type of things. That we're trying to help you. Unfortunately, right now, most of the design is the modeling, right, in the CAD system. You have to know how to model well to make a good design. We're trying to make it so you don't have to do that. Some of the, talk to Scott Harris, some of the stuff he's going after. Cosmic Blobs, again, was looking at new technologies for being able to make swoopy shapes, was originally how that all started.
Yeah.
So we're trying to make it so you are really designing and you're not modeling. You're putting it into wording that you can understand. One of Scott's favorite things is the butt crack feature. Like for swoopy shapes. How else do you describe it? Right?
I'm familiar with that. Right?
The designers. I mean, if you're talking about consumer product design, there's a whole other vocabulary, and design means a different thing. So, I mean, we're always trying to go after making it easier to design stuff, not just model stuff. Modeling is the means to designing right now.
That's good. That's good. And really, my final question here is the direction of the SolidWorks product and the SolidWorks company in general. Do you see that it's changed at all, or is it remaining the same with the change of leadership with Jeff Ray? Especially, I should add, especially in light of the fact that Jeff Ray comes from a sales and marketing background, and McElhaney came from an engineering background.
Right. I would say it's different. Jeff's a very different guy, and he's not going to come off disingenuous that he is, come off as an engineer.
Right.
But I was concerned about that when he took over myself, and I have no concerns about that anymore. He is really all about, the scalability and the reliability, all that is coming a lot from him.
Good.
So he's really taken what the user needs to heart. And that's from visiting customers. So that's where actually his sales and marketing and everything else comes in good. He sees that that's going to be a benefit to the sales and marketing side, is to have very satisfied customers, and the things that are missing now are, the things that our customers are missing now is not functionality, but more the reliability and performance and that type of thing. So I'm very happy with the transition. I'm good friends with both of them. And truthfully, I had concerns about him not being an engineer and what that would mean to the community and how they would take it. and so forth. But he's a good guy, and he really knows he's not just a sales-driven type of guy. He's a
Great.
product-driven type of guy.
Great. That's good news. Thanks a lot.
Sure.